Last year I got a job in New York City. I was very excited to move to the city, but one thing I worried was that I'd have to give up on one of my favorite hobbies, gardening. I found a nice quaint apartment and was pleasantly surprised to discover that I do, in fact, have some outdoor space. Although technically legally dubious, I decided to take advantage of this and turn it into my mini oasis. Today I'm going to give you a tour of my fire escape and perhaps some advice on how to grow efficiently in such a space. I've experimented with many different types of gardening before and decided that hydroponics would be the best way to approach growing on a fire escape. Hydroponics is the process of growing plants without soil. Instead, the plants are grown in water. I'm not going to get into super detailed hydro in this video, but here are some really good reasons to choose this type of growing when you're using a balcony or a fire escape. Soil is heavy, especially when you live in a classic New York walk-up and you have to carry it up to the top floor. With hydroponics, it's just a few buckets or PVC pipes that are light to carry and easy to deconstruct and store. With hydroponics, I don't need to water my plants every day, so I can go on vacation without a plant sitter. The number of days you can leave your system abandoned depends on how large your water reservoir is, but you can definitely leave them for much longer than soil-based plants. Plants also grow faster in hydroponics since you're constantly adding nutrients to the system. You can also move your hydro indoors if you have the space for it. There are a few different hydroponic techniques, but I've mainly utilized two: NFT and deep water culture. Yep, you heard me right, NFT. It stands for nutrient film technique, and it's when you have water flowing through a pipe with the roots of the plant submerged in this flowing stream of nutrient solution. The system I have is available on Amazon, although it's not difficult to recreate as a DIY. It has a water reservoir at the bottom which holds my nutrient solution, a pump that brings the water to the top, and pipes that bring the water through each level and back into the reservoir. NFTs are great for plants with shallow roots like leafy greens, beans, and peas. It's a system that allows you to take advantage of vertical space, allowing you to grow more on a smaller footprint, which is very important to keep in mind when you have such little space. The other technique is deep water culture. It's when you have your plant's roots submerged in water with an air stone aerating the water. Plants need oxygen, and if you just keep your roots submerged without contact with air, they will drown and rot. Deep water culture is a simple system to put together. I use a 5-gallon Home Depot bucket and a net cup, and an air pump and air stone that you might use for a fish tank. This system is great for plants with longer roots. I have some shishito peppers and cayenne peppers in my system over here, and on this side I have cucumbers that I started a little late, but hopefully it climbs up this ladder and produces fruit by the end of the summer. Besides my hydro systems, I do have some other soil-based plants out here. The main one is my dwarf lime tree. It has one ripe lime on there, and a few flowers and some baby limes as well. Lime is a tropical plant that needs to be brought indoors once the temperature drops, so it's great that this guy is so petite. I also have this section where I have some extra seedlings and propagations going. I have houseplant props like Pilea peperomoides and string of hearts. I also have a spare cayenne plant and a seed tray which currently has lettuce, collards, and beans. Success in gardening comes from trial and error, and as you see here, my peas this year didn't turn out well. It's always good to have a tray of seedlings going so you can swap out plants in the hydro system according to how well they're doing. In my current setup, a very useful tool has been this 5-gallon water jug, which I fill up in my bathtub and use to top off my hydro system and to keep this bucket full so I can use it to water my soil-based plants. One thing I want to address is this platform. My dad is incredibly afraid of heights, so when he learned of my plans to grow on my fire escape, he insisted on building a platform so I don't accidentally fall through the large gap. There is still some space for me to go down the stairs in case of an emergency. I am on the top floor, so the only person that I'm inconveniencing is myself. And that's it for my tour. I love growing and eating my own food, and I'm so happy I found a way to continue doing this even in New York City.